Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 250th Commencement at Georgia Tech. Please welcome your Fall 2015 graduates. Students, please rise for the faculty processional.
Well, good morning and welcome. Please rise and remain standing for the national anthem, which will be sung by members of the Georgia Tech Chamber Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Welcome to to the 250th commencement ceremony at the Georgia Institute of Technology. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Angel Daruna, a candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering in the College of Engineering, who will give the reflection.
Welcome, family and friends of the graduating class of 2015. Every graduating student in here needs to give themselves a mental pat on the back. We did it. This is not an ECU university, and we still did it. We've earned it. All right, so now for the part where people tend to doze off. Listen up. I'm gonna make this organized and to the point, because I wanna graduate just as bad as everybody else here. To get everyone thinking, I have a main topic that is important to me, which I still don't agree with other people's perceptions of, and I'd like to call it to your attention. The topic is limits, and we will investigate this topic through a series of case studies. Some people believe they may be limited by their technical abilities. For instance, to a college student studying at Georgia Tech, making a groundbreaking scientific discovery could seem a little bit far-fetched and beyond our limits. We need to rethink our doubts. This past semester, one of our very own students, Luhendra Osha, led a research effort to discover the possibility of flowing water on Mars. He did it. He did it because he goes to Georgia Tech, and his abilities are limitless, like so many of our other graduating students who do novel research. And still others think they may be limited because of where they came from. I have a friend sitting in this very graduating class who came from a single-parent home, from low-rated middle and high schools, and from a weaker prior institution. This did not stop him. Today, he has maintained a part-time job to support himself and his family throughout his entire senior career, on top of participating in extracurricular activities and taking a full load of classes. He also did it because he goes to Georgia Tech, and his abilities are limitless. And yet, still others may think that they are limited because they lack a strong support system or because they come from a different culture. I have a friend here today who came from halfway around the world, leaving her entire family, her childhood friends, and her boyfriend, all in search of a better education and future. She had to adapt to a new culture and learning in a second language. Today, she is graduating from a top institution, and she even plans to pursue higher education in the future. She did it too. Every one of us in our graduating class has had a time in our undergraduate career where we thought we faced some limit. Maybe it was having 2 exams and 3 projects and 20+ elevator speeches for a career fair, along with 2 prior commitments to extracurricular activities, all in the same week. But guess what? We're all here. We all did it. So I plead to you, expunge these notions of limits from your minds, despite what the world may want us to believe. Go out and be the visionaries of tomorrow. Go out and be the next Nobel Prize-winning scientists. Go out and be the next billion-dollar startup founders, because we all went to Georgia Tech, and for us, there are no limits. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you, Angel, and congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Graduates, members of the faculty and staff, distinguished guests, families, and friends, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 250th commencement exercises at the Georgia Institute of Technology. This morning, we will be awarding 1,200 degrees to our undergraduate students, in addition to the 1,200 degrees that we awarded last night to master's and PhD students. As is the case for the success of our institute, success in life is seldom a one-person effort. As we celebrate the successful conclusion of one chapter of your lifelong education, it's important to acknowledge that you've not done it alone. With us today are many families, friends, and colleagues whose love and support have helped to make this day possible. Graduates, I want you to stand up, find your parents, find your families, find your friends, point to them and say thank you. Okay, that's good. That's good. For some of the parents here today, this is not your first Georgia Tech commencement ceremony. If you're the parent of more than one Georgia Tech student, or if you're a Georgia Tech alum yourself, stand up and wave to us. With us this morning are members of the faculty who've guided and mentored these students, sharing their time, their wisdom, and their expertise in order that each and every one of them can reach his or her fullest potential and achieve this important milestone. Would the members of the faculty please stand and be recognized? Thank you for being here today, too. While I could stand here and try to tell you how much the graduates appreciate the efforts of all of the people that supported them in their educational endeavors, I think it'll mean much more coming from them.
I just wanted to thank my mom, my dad, my sister, and all the professors I had who helped make Georgia Tech more survivable.
Shout out to my mom, you the real MVP, and go Jackets! Woo!
Saludos a la familia Antonio. Solo quiero agradecerles por el apoyo que me han dado. Así se pudo y go Jackets!
Hi, Mom and Dad. Thank you so much for helping me get where I am today. And I'd also like to thank Dr. DeRoche, the Dean of the School of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Thank you for showing me how to be a global citizen and showing me truly how much influence I can have with my degree from Georgia Tech. Go Jackets!
I'd just like to thank my parents and my sister for standing by me for so long and for coming all the way from Egypt here to just attend my ceremony.
I just want to thank everybody for this opportunity, the 51st Combat Comm Squadron, the 5th Mob down in Roberts Air Force Base, Georgia. Wow, Buzz just tripped over a cord.
Thank you, Amon Abba, for everything. It's been an amazing experience here at Georgia Tech. I've met some of the most phenomenal people in the entire world, and I can't imagine being anywhere else on this day.
At this time, I'd like to introduce several members of the stage party, and I will ask that you hold your applause as they stand when I call their names. Dr. Colin Potts, Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education. Good, good. Dr. Susan Cousins, Vice Provost for Graduate Education and Faculty Development. Dr. Paul Cohn, Vice Provost for Enrollment Services. Mr. Barrett Carson, Vice President for Development. Dr. Archie Irvin, Vice President for Institute Diversity. Mr. John Stein, Vice President for Student Life and Dean of Students. Dr. Nelson Baker, Dean of Georgia Tech Professional Education. Mr. Amit Doshi, Director of Service Experience and Program Design for the Libraries. Dr. Roberta Berry, representing the Georgia Tech Honors Program. Ms. Michelle Toulier, representing the Center for Career Discovery and Development. And our registrar, Ms. Rita Pekowski. Let's give them a round of applause. This is a momentous day for you as graduates and for your family and friends who are sharing in your celebration and accomplishments. You've worked very hard to earn your degree from one of the best institutions in the nation, and in many areas, one of the best in the world. And you will be forever linked to this great institution. At Georgia Tech, we pride ourselves on being trailblazers. who drive real-world change by embracing challenges, thinking critically, and developing innovative solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems. We continue to work towards our goal of making a Georgia Tech education within the reach of every qualified Georgia resident, regardless of their family income. We're proud to say that among our graduates today are 16 G. Wayne Clough Georgia Tech Promise Program students. Because of Tech Promise, qualified Georgia residents with the greatest financial needs are able to earn a Georgia Tech degree and graduate debt-free. Through their hard work and Georgia Tech's commitment, not only will their lives be changed, but also those of generations to come. Your Georgia Tech education is designed to prepare you to work collaboratively, to identify challenges and create solutions, and to be leaders in business, industry, government, and the communities in which you will live and work. Georgia Tech is in the business of creating the next idea, the next technology, and the next innovators and entrepreneurs. We're empowering the next generation of scientists, engineers, businessmen and women, architects, and so many others, engendering in them the passion and skills that they will need not only to design the future, but to build it. And we're looking for great things from each and every one of you. At this point, it's my great pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Georgia's junior senator, Mr. David Perdue. Senator Perdue has more than 40 years of business experience as the former CEO of Reebok, Athletic Brand, and Dollar General Stores, where he created thousands of quality jobs for working families. A native of Warner Robins, Senator Perdue grew up working on his family farm. Both of his parents were school teachers, and from an early age, he was taught the importance of hard work and good education. At Georgia Tech, Senator Perdue earned a degree in industrial engineering and a master's degree in operations research while working warehouse and construction jobs. After graduation, he married his wife, Bonnie, and they've been married for over 42 years, meeting when they were in the first grade. I'd ask Mrs. Perdue to stand up and be recognized. Senator Perdue has generously served past appointments on the Campaign Georgia Tech Steering Committee, the Georgia Tech Foundation Board of Trustees, and the advisory boards for both the Institute and the H. Milton Stewart School of Industrial and Systems Engineering. For the 114th Congress, Senator Perdue serves on the Agriculture Committee, Budget Committee, Foreign Relations Committee, Judiciary Committee, and the Special Committee on Aging. Senator Perdue was also tapped to lead two important subcommittees and serves as chairman of the Foreign Relations Subcommittee and on the State Department and USAID management, as well as the Agriculture Subcommittee on Conservation, Forestry, and Natural Resources. Senator Perdue and his wife Bonnie live in Glenn County, Georgia, and attend Wesley United Methodist Church. They have 2 sons and 3 grandsons who are their inspiration for serving in the U.S. Senate. Please join me in welcoming Georgia Tech alum, Senator David Perdue.
Wow. I know what you're thinking. How long is this bubblehead going to talk, right? Before I get started, I want to do one thing. I want to thank our president, Bud Peterson. Let's give him a round of applause. The second thing is I want all you parents to stand up today and point at your son or daughter and say thank you as well. Come on, stand up right now, stand up. Thank you, thank you. Okay, now, before I give my inspiration to these graduates, I have one piece of advice for you parents. I'm a parent of a Georgia Tech graduate as well. My advice to you this morning, change the locks. Congratulations, you guys. I know the pain that you felt the last 4 years. I am so honored to be here this morning. I'm truly humbled to be the junior anything but the junior United States Senator from Georgia. I'm sobered by that responsibility. But I have never been more optimistic about our future because of people just like you. As I progressed through my life's walk, I never dreamed I'd be standing here giving this talk. And no matter what I did in chasing fortune and fame, after today, you'll not remember my name. So today, as I try to inspire your life's reach, my special gift to you will be a really short speech. Be honest, some of you actually thought this day might not happen. Said more accurately, some of you parents thought this day might not happen. But here you are, you persevered, you overcame. This is Georgia Tech. You did that. As you go through life, you're going to meet a lot of Georgia Tech graduates, and the often asked question is, well, when did you get out? Not when did you graduate. It's almost like we did something really bad in high school and they sentenced us to 4 years of hard labor at Georgia Tech. I am so proud of you for what you've already done. That speech this morning is so inspiring to me that you've already done a lot. I am so proud of what you've already done, but more importantly, I look at the potential of what I know you're going to do in your lifetime. You know, I've been very blessed in my career. I've had the opportunity with my family to live outside the country a couple of times, several times actually. I've worked all over the world. I've worked on every continent except Antarctica. And I've learned a lot. I've seen some very strange things. I'm going to share with you probably the strangest thing I ever really saw was on a flight from Chicago to Beijing, one of my many flights to China. And sitting next to me was a guy who had graduated from the University of Georgia, or at least he said he did. So we're into this flight about an hour, and we're having this nice conversation, and all of a sudden we hear this loud noise. And the pilot comes on and says, don't worry, it's a 747. We've lost an engine, but we still have 3, but we will be an hour late. A little bit later, we lose the second engine. The pilot comes on, don't worry, we got plenty of power, but we will be about 2 hours late. In just a minute, we heard another bang. The third engine goes out, and now we're all really nervous, and the guy next to me is almost hysterical. The pilot comes on and says, don't worry, we're over halfway, but we still have 1 engine out there, but we did lose our third engine. The bad news is we're going to be 3 hours late. Now, the guy sitting next to me, by this time, the University of Georgia guy is absolutely hysterical. He says, oh man, first it's 1 hour, and then it's 2 hours, now it's 3 hours. If we lose that fourth engine, we're going to be up here all day. It's too easy, right? It's too easy. During my time at Tech, I really did learn a lot, and some of it was actually useful. I actually learned there's a difference between Georgia football fans and puppies. Yeah, puppies. Puppies actually will one day grow up and stop whining. Today, as you celebrate this great day, I want you to stop just a second, and I want you to imagine. Imagine the unasked question. Imagine the sought-after solution. Imagine the one thing that you can do and no one else can do to make our planet a better place. Over the last 70 years since World War II, we've been blessed in America to see the greatest economic boom in the history of mankind. It was based on 3 things in my estimate. 1 is innovation. 2, capital formation. 3, the rule of law. I'm here to tell you as a graduate of an engineering school that innovation is right at the center of our future. Just look at the world about the time most of you were born. Intel had just released its first ever Pentium processor, if you can believe that. Jurassic Park, for the first time, beat out E.T. as the highest grossing film ever at that time. The Dow Jones Industrial Average passed 3,500 for the first time, compared to 18,000 earlier this year. And oh yeah, remember, Al Gore invented the internet. Thanks, Al. And during your lifetime, we've eradicated polio. We've cloned Dolly the sheep. We put the world's total aggregate of knowledge on your iPhone. However, we've seen 19 terrorists hijack 4 planes, kill 3,000 people right here on American soil, and change the world as we knew it. Today, the world faces 2 major crises. One is a global security crisis. We see now the evidence of that right here at home. The world may be more dangerous right now than at any time in my lifetime. The second crisis is a global debt crisis. It threatens not only our national security, but our very way of life. Actually, these crises are why I decided to run for the United States Senate, having never done anything like this in my life. There's a country song that says, "I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then." I do not want to be a member of the first generation that has to tell you that we're leaving you a world that's worse off than the one my mom and dad left me. Doesn't have to be that way, but it's going to be up to you to help us change that. After my first year in the United States Senate, however, I have never been more encouraged about our future. Yes, we've got great challenges, but America has always risen to the crisis of the day because of people just like you and me. This time will be no different. As a matter of fact, today we stand on the brink of the great next economic boom. It'll make the last 100 years pale in comparison if we just do a few things correctly. My hope for you today focuses on 2 things: progress and service. You may recognize that. That comes from the Georgia Tech motto. Collectively, you're better prepared than any generation before you to provide technological innovation over the next 30 years. You also have a better heart than any other prior generation. Your willingness to serve is already demonstrated by what you've been doing the last 4 years. For some of you, 5 years. If you focus your energy, as you heard already this morning, there is no limit to what you and we can do to make this world a better place. With that in mind, I want you to stop and imagine the next 20 years. 20 years from now, I want you to imagine a world without hunger. Imagine a world without cancer. Imagine a world that doesn't have to burn fossil fuels for energy. Imagine a world full of technical innovation that we can't even imagine today. I want to show you something today. Now, a lot of people your age don't believe this, but there really was something when I was at Georgia Tech called a post-select slide rule. Hey, this sucker still works. It got me through Georgia Tech. Now, let me show you the other. This is my iPhone. This can connect me through any search engine to the full aggregate of humankind knowledge. Now, as you're standing here, one of you in a few decades might be standing here, and I want you to imagine talking about how antiquated that iPhone is, and think about what's going to be in this hand. Imagine. Look, if we can put the world on my iPhone, why can't we cure Alzheimer's? If we can put a man on the moon in 10 years, why can't we put a woman on Mars? And if we can bring down the Soviet Union with the strength of our economy and the power of our ideas, why can't we defeat terrorism once and for all? Well, of course we can, but you're going to have to play a major role in helping us try to do that. And as you take us there, I want to share with you very quickly 5 things that I've learned from people of greatness throughout my lifetime around the world. Number 1, listen, listen, listen. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Number 2, never let yourself get comfortable. Take risks, push your limits. Never fear failure. 3, there's always someone smarter. Outwork them. Never quit, never quit, never quit. 4, believe in yourself, but never take yourself too seriously. Stay true to who you are and never, ever forget where you came from. 5, maintain your integrity at all costs. Trust your instincts. Get in the fight. Dare to make a difference. The American dream and the inspiration of our founders are the reasons we have the opportunities we have today. We can no longer take our position in the world for granted. We can no longer take our standard of living for granted. And no, we can no longer take our freedom for granted. Ronald Reagan once said, freedom is never more than 1 generation away from extinction. We don't pass it down in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and passed on so they can do the same. Or one day, in our sunset years, we'll be telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in America when women and men were free. Georgia Tech has prepared each of you. Your parents have prepared each of you. And yes, you have prepared yourself to do something truly remarkable with your life. The question is, will you do it? That's the universal question, isn't it? Some of you will. All of you can. Let me share with you one quick story of greatness that just happened. In this year's New York City Marathon, there were 2 unusual participants from right here in Cobb County. Brent Neese and Kyle, his brother. Kyle suffers from cerebral palsy, and Brent was going to push his brother in his wheelchair the full distance of that marathon. They got about halfway, and everything was going well, but then the back wheel fell off. Brent tried to carry Kyle, but it was just obvious he wasn't going to make it. Coming upon that scene was a young woman who, without hesitation, stopped, grabbed that wheelchair, and helped push that boy through the finish line. Now, you know, finishing a marathon is a tremendous accomplishment. You get a t-shirt, you get a decent time, you train for a year, and that woman gave all that up. She and others are the true winners of this year's New York City Marathon, in my view. That's the mark of true greatness. That's what America is all about. Each of you has that type of greatness within you. You've demonstrated it already, some of you. I want you to now think about how do we take mankind on a different course. How we can achieve a world without a world of lasting peace, a world without hunger, a world without racism or ethnic strife, a world with equal opportunity for every individual, and a world where each of us is not valued by what we have or by what we believe, but by who we truly are. Greatness is sometimes thrust upon you by circumstance or timing. Other times, greatness is sought across a broad expanse of opportunity. But however you come across this elusive siren, be bold, be powerful, and yes, be great. It's your destiny. We're Georgia Tech. You will do that. As you leave today, be very fearful to not imagine greatness and run like hell into that vast unknown called life. Thank you. God bless you. And as George P. Burdell would say, go Jackets and to hell with Georgia. Thanks, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Did I mention he graduated from Georgia Tech? Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your service. We appreciate everything you do. And now, we come to the time all of you have been waiting for, the conferring of your degrees. The moment of walking across the stage represents the culmination of a tremendous amount of work and an achievement for each of you. I would ask that after you receive your diploma, you return to your seat and show your fellow students the same respect that they have showed you as you cross the stage. At this point, I'm pleased to welcome our provost, Dr. Raphael Bross, who will introduce the academic deans by college and then present the candidates for the bachelor's degrees.
Good morning. Are you ready? Dean Zvi Galil will present the undergraduate candidates for the degrees in the College of Computing.
Candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in the College of Computing, please rise and remain standing. Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you those candidates for the bachelor degree, the sleepless candidates, including the hackers, the geeks, and the nerds, who have completed the requirements for the degree.
From the College of Computing, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Joshua Ali. Hitang Mao Young. Elizabeth Barcelo. Adam Michael Beaton. Hans Alexander Bergen. Alexander Adair Betapour. Kenyon Douglas Bittick. Adam Jacob Bonk. Sierra Nicole Brader. Andrew Michael Branch. Reeves Stewart Andrew Broussard. Christopher Lee Butler. Emily Alexandrine Cahill. Antonio Michael Calabrese. Piero Luis Cappelletti. Julia Nicole Cochran. Jesse Ernest Carnegie Jr. Richard Allison Chausse II. Bo Chen. Rachel Ann Clark. Justin Thomas Coates. Chad Lloyd Collins. Sean Lamb Collins. Nikhil Dashmudre. Michael Falk. Jory Aaron Faulkner. Gioving Gerard II. Michael Brannon Glover. Oliver Claude Singleton Goldbart. Matthew Richard Gruchaz. Stephen Hahn. Nikhil Harthias. Matthew Lee Henderson. William Dane Hinton. Kevin Shu. Jinyan Ku. Jean Martin Heisen. Marianne Ionescu. Taylor Daniel Isom. Justin Carl Jackson III. Brandon Jamal Jacobs. Rohit Kale. Jonghyun Kim. Raj Pratik Kojazaro. Rich Allen Lee. Hai Lin. James Siki Liu. Yaksun Liu. Justin Luke. Clifton Malecki. Garrett Thomas Mallory. Gautham Maran. Trevor Christopher May. Robert Edward McBride. Stephen James Mitchell. Safiq Mohammed. Sui Viet Nguyen. Kushal Ningam. Alex Edmund O'Connor. Bradley Davis Ersch. Stephen Okala Jr. Samarth Pawal. Devang Patel. John Taylor Pennington. Vishnu Hillary Sethi. Aditya Pujari. Andika Putra. Valerie Helen Reese. Brandon Rising. James Bernard Rossi. Raphael Santillan Jr. Christopher William Shaw. Daniel Howard Shea. Kevin Shu. Kunwar Singh. Montek Singh. Rahul Singh. Magnus Siwi. Ruby Lucille Smith. Anthony Michael Stangy. Caitlin Michaela Stott. Christopher Bruce Stout. Robert William Sun. Matthew Joseph Taylor. Matthew Lefferts Townsend. Andrew Tsai. Trong Fong Tu. Christian Samuel Tuches. Waturo Wayno. Brooke Elizabeth Vykoski. Timothy Daniel Virgens. Patrick David Violet. Phuc Vong. Marissa Karen Wall. Eileen Wang. EJ Wong. Andrew Gordon Whalen. Lauren Ann Winston. Courtney Rochelle Wright. Kenny Wu. Zhenyoung Wu, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. Jonathan Taylor Yates. Jingzhu Zheng. Bachelor of Science in Computational Media, interdisciplinary with Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts. Chelsea Chong. Demira Collins. Devin Kreitz. Kevin Michael Goubert. Eric William Hamilton. Anna Clay Heaton. Galen Jonas Hughes. Paylin Lee. Terry Olivia Panfell. Devin Pete. Annalise Morgan Russell. Erin Nicole Sapp. Garrett Paul Stache. Sarah Margaret Strauss.
Associate Dean John Tone will present the undergraduate candidates for the degrees in the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts.
Candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts, please rise and remain standing. Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you those candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree who have completed the requirements for this degree.
From the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts, Bachelor of Science in Applied Languages and Intercultural Studies, Lucia Liu. Adiala Nicole Toby Williams. Bachelor of Science in Public Policy, Cassandra Marie Carroll. Bachelor of Science in History, Technology, and Society, Hattie Ann Arnow. Erica Renee Brundage. Brian Leonard Chamberlain. Rebecca Lee Lawrence. Taylor Joseph Keptepnik. Bachelor of Science in Literature, Media, and Communications, Dennis Ray Andrews, Jr. Bree Courtney Bolden. Alexandra Nicole Braxton. Christina Elise Lucas. Whitney Taylor Rudisiel. Bachelor of Science in International Affairs and Modern Language, Emma Lauren Curtis. William Oscar Hess, Jr. Creanne Hutton. Allison Faye Stanford. James Cullen Toole. Bachelor of Science in International Affairs, W. Elliott Beckham. Julia Borison. Marion Margaret Charles. Karen Cruz. Aislinn Gail Domate. Anna Catherine Finch. Grace Marie Goodhart. Peter O. Kenneth William Reisner. Stuart Thomas Spohn. Bachelor of Science in Economics and International Affairs, Sandra Ajimio Token. Alexandra Hoskins. James Hayden Kepner III. Hamsika Ramani. Dylan Robert Rosine. Zachary James Wade. Bachelor of Science in Economics, Jonathan Wayne Edward Applegate. Jae Yoon Ju. Trevor Joseph McCoy. William Samuel Welch. Kyra Whitaker Shepard.
Associate Dean of Academic Affairs and Outreach, Michelle Reinhardt, will present the undergraduate candidates for the degrees in the College of Architecture.
Candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in the College of Architecture, please rise and remain standing. Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you those graduates for the Bachelor of Science degrees who have completed the requirements for this degree and who will envision, design, and build the world of our future.
From the College of Architecture, Bachelor of Science in Architecture, Courtney Greer Blanchard. Mary Catherine Briata. Emerald Brooke Chafin. Candace Elizabeth Cobb, also receiving Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Amelia Harper Deaton. Kelsey Lynn Hollington. Krishi Patel. Gray Alexander Peterson. Bachelor of Science in Building Construction, Stephanie Azahar. Christopher Lawrence Mayan. Bachelor of Science in Industrial Design, Zachary James Fisher. Jacqueline Gonzalez Rodriguez. Emily Catherine Keener. Jayan Lee. Xiang Yun Lee. Sean Eugene Mackey. Alyssa Grace Mellett. Olivia Sonia Pan, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Tran Pham. Quan Tong.
Dean Mariam Alavi will present the undergraduate candidates for the degrees in the Ernest Scheller Jr. College of Business.
Candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration at Ernest Scheller College of Business, please rise and remain standing. Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you those candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration who have met all requirements for this degree.
From the Scheller College of Business, Gabriel Paul Altman, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Nathaniel Taylor Anderson. Ashita Angra. Thomas Michael Antonino. Kimberly Marie Arturo. Nathaniel Everett Atkerson. Sarah Elizabeth Bailey. Victoria Marie Berenberg. Alpha Umar Bari. Ansel Franklin Beecham IV. Caitlin Becker. William Dozier Blackstock III. Marlon Deshawn Brazelton. Maggie Marie Bridges. Elliot McCall Brockenbank. Anthony Michael Brown. Piper Ray Brownlee. Ilana Lindsay Burton. Timothy Joseph Byerly. Lauren Elise Caldwell. Anna Marie Christina Collis. Nicholas Alexander Cardamore. Christopher Lawrence Carl. Ryan Keith Carroll. Zachary James Carroll. Alan Hendrick Chan. Jessica Odessa Chastain. Jesse N. Chang. Jameson Daniel Chipman. Evan Constantine Chininis. John Choi. Ashna Kore. Jeffrey Andrew Christian. Marissa Nicole Clark. Newton Conley Clark. Taylor Elizabeth Cunningham. Christopher R. Denicki. Normeka Rishun Dennis. Timothy Elvis Dixon. Lowell David Douglas. Shelby Lynn Downing. Kelly Denise Felker. Anthony Gaetano Ferrari, Catherine Haley Fletcher, Amanda Lynn Florentine, Rachel Foss, Adam Scott Friedman, Kristen Nicole Gadsden, Gerarthi Gangaranan, Kevin Michael Garlinghouse, Brian P. Gay, Kieran James Fox, Anton Gebhard Koningsten, Matthew Stephen Gilkinson, Adam Gotsis, Justin Dean Gray, John Watson Griffith, Patrick George Queenie, DeAndre Manuel Helger, Gillen Robert Hessler, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in International Affairs, Alan Glenn Hedinger, Olivia Claire Hill, Claire Marie Humston, Abby Teal Hutchinson, Paul Michael Hutton, Lee Hyde, Rachel Marie Isaac, Natasha Jadov, Marvi Johnny, Eric Dodge Johnson, Tanner Braden Carr, Matthew Blake Keller, Amanda Grace Kelly, Bong Son Kim, Kyung Soo Kim, Sohoon Kim, Sujong Kim, Philip Richard Kluver, Luke Sean Leonard, Sheila Bridget Lavelle, Yula Lowe, Nathan Taylor Lowry, KG Liu, Reynolds Forrest McCain, Laura Olivia McCraney, Catherine Indiana McCree, Ryan Merkin, Christopher Devon Milton, Davis Christopher Mitchell, Harper Will Morris, Micah Peter Napolitano, Joseph Lewis Niner IV, Addie Ann Neiman, Brandon DeVoe Oliver, Jeffrey Maled Oteyek, Una Rachel Paik, Juwan Park, Bobby Blair Parlow, George Dame Hagler IV, Craig Lewis Pilkington Jr., Thomas James Pinkerton, Janet Peyton Proctor, Tyson Christopher Redding, Wesley Aaron Rentke, Joseph Mackenzie Roman, Nima Ali Saudry, Stephanie Sanchez, Brennan Matthew Scoggins, Preston Derek Trubridge, Trevor Darren Simmons, Katie Simmons, Eleanor Ballard Shelton, Christopher Connor Smith, DeMontavious Alicia Smith, Broderick Brett Snoddy, Dylan W. St. John, James Matthew Stabell, Kyle Jeffrey Stollard, Tyler Dean Stargell, Tyler Adams Stepanek, William Tucker Stewart Jr., Calvin K. Sue, Emily Elizabeth Sulk, John Conley Taylor, Nihit S. Tiwari, John Brandon Thomas, Claire Elizabeth Travis, Amy Alexandra Wojtek, Tamiko Ann Washington, Justin Scott Weaver, David Jamal White, Jordan Scott White, Whitney Clinton Williams II, Zachary Bernard Williams, Isaiah Willis III, Kelly Marie Zayas, Amy Merrim Chun, Alex C. Aw.
Dean Paul Goldbart will present the undergraduate candidates for the degrees in the College of Sciences.
Mr. President, if I may, you know that Professor Jenny Singleton and I are the proud parents of computer science graduate Oliver Goldbart. Perhaps I may add that Jenny and I are also the proud and grateful daughter-in-law and son of Oliver's grandparents, Carol and Colin Goldbart, with us for today's celebration, thanks to the miracle of the internet in their home in London, England.
Wow.
And we're the proud and grateful daughter and son-in-law of grandparents Buddy and Bernice Singleton from Surprise, Arizona, who are right here with us in McCamish Pavilion. Buddy and Bernice, Carol and Colin, your family love you and thank you. Mr. President, candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in the College of Sciences, home to bold explorers creating new knowledge to help drive forward the technology and medicine of tomorrow, and also simply to lift the human spirit to new heights, and huge fans of Robert Burke's statue of Albert Einstein, now gracing the heart of the beautiful Georgia Tech campus to inspire one and all. Do visit, sit on his lap and take a photo. Candidates, please rise and remain standing. Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you those candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree who have completed the requirements for this degree.
From the College of Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry, Chandler Paradise Brandenburg, Rihanna Alia Burney, Grace Temple Chandler, Lauren Ashley Connor, Jaya Makila Jandahila, Margaret Elizabeth Reed, Skylar Morrow Schofield, Chaitanya Tandepu, Agnes Tristao, Bachelor of Science in Discrete Mathematics, Marco Rabin Cognetta, Ryan Stephen Dickman, Dylan Hamilton Webb, Bachelor of Science in Earth and Atmospheric Sciences, Mary Elizabeth V.M. Johnson, Jordan L. Rogers, Sarah N. Schulte, Olivia Bally Studebaker, Bachelor of Science in Biology, Samia Basunya, Elizabeth Ashley Burns, Kayla Ann Carter, Amit Eichelbaum, Alex David Gladden, Brittany Gauthier, Allison Brantley Maloney, Natalie Moise, Siu Lung Na, Jennifer Beth Ann Rotway, Lenerica Jamise Rogers, William Kyle Sexton, Jordan Elizabeth Tapley, Anna Finley Taylor. Jamise Jean Shardy Taylor. Christine Elise Wyrick. Taylor Delaney Willoughby. Bachelor of Science in Psychology, Jennifer Lauren Arnold. Paula Mary Baranchea. Kelsey Aaron Connick. Brittany Lee Corbett. Zachary Michael Gibson, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Zuren Ali Hassan. Scarlett Bell Horner. Michelle C. Johnson. Amber Elise Jones. Amy Lynn Kadule. Anthony Ama Larby. Christy Sunsu Lee. Natalie Ann Limbeck. Cumbry Nicole Mabry. Lindsay Joyce Paterka. Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics, Patea Almeida. Brandon Michael Bogus. Yiwin Chin. Christopher Richard Harper, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Applied Languages and Intercultural Studies. Claire Kuykendall. Xiaoyu Liu. Evan Taylor Sadlin. Bachelor of Science in Physics, Michael Taylor Clay. Benjamin Edmund DeMario, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. DeStefano Garcia. Livia Lashuli. Spencer Patrick Neely. Manhan Yao. Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, David Prince Hayner Jr. Tom John A. Mayunga. Jared Stephen Pellicer.
Thank you. Mr. President, if I let the next school go, I might lose the pool. Dean Gary May will present the undergraduate candidates for the degrees in the College of Engineering.
Candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in the College of Engineering, please rise and remain standing. Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you those limitless candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree from the largest, most diverse, most outstanding College of Engineering in the country who've completed the requirements for this degree.
From the College of Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, Corey Albert Ballinger. Yun Chung Choi. Catherine Cody Dallas. Kyle Kersey Dwodkowski. Felicia Marie Escobar. Emily Rose Flood. Shibe Guan. Thomas Matthew Hall II. Paige Marie Horley. Alexander Patrick Hyman. William Christopher Jaco. Queenie Liu. Stephen Michael Malone. Francesca C. Metcalf. Melissa Ann Meyer. Megan Jean Hsu. Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering, Omar Mohammed Abdallah. Stephanie Jean Alberts. Denis Brianna Bado. Salil Amol Belair. Sistana Meiling Bong, Alexander Giovanna Cavaliero, Siddhant Kumar Chawla, Ashley Marie Siskowski, Tran Ngoc Phong Dao, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Biology, Tammy Jean Deal, Kyle Ann Demanis, Thomas Benton Ferguson, Nathan Eugene Fisher, Rachel Catherine Ford, Brian Dean Geary, Brittany Alexandra Gonzalez, Emily Catherine Gregory, Catherine Gu, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Applied Languages and Intercultural Studies, Nikhil Niklath Gupte, Yo Min Ha, Michael William Harrington Pena, Covey Michael Holman, Sashibna Hoke, Morgan Lee Jackson, Amelia J. Achanan, Dominique Nicole Johnson, Young Kyung Kim, Austin Patrick Ladner, Amber M. Lee, Rachel Kim Little, Jesse Liu, Emily Michelle Mandela, Daniel Games Magali, Alexander David McIntyre, Adam Andrew McKenzie, Eric Andrew McKissick, Daniel Edward McDavish, Kayla Marcia Lee Merson, Lauren Lee Milner, Rebecca Lillian Montgomery, Keva Madhukumara, Malakiva S. Munkar, Sri Devi Nam Alawar, Ajay Naran, Robert John Overholt, Shalini Chadaprapur Panja, Tyler Joseph Piscini Ash, Eric Joseph Pinkser, Philip Edward Poole, Tyler Stephen Prusnitz, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Anit Raghuram, Kani Ramanan Kordestani, Maya N. Rajan, Sangog Jalidi Reddy, Scott David Renner, Megan Elizabeth Rich, Gerald Jamunyik, Alexandra Sky Richardson, Emily Victoria Roberts, Adrian Yukuro Salmon, Matthew Henry Schwartz, Farina Sakat, Benjamin Clayton Shepard, Jonathan Chang Chin Shi, Michael Joseph Sobrera, Justin Philip Tinkler, Lily Tran, Maxine Claudine Andres Treya, Tram Vo, Nicole Lee Vautron, Harrison Zhao, Stephanie Yo Zhang, Bachelor of Science in Material Science and Engineering, Sally Catherine Aldrich, Jason Alexander Barron, Brenda Lee Beckler, Logan Garrett Backstad, Emily Jean Marie Boyer, Chi Chong Chang, Brian J. Chu, Sean Michael DeBuse, Richard Gregory Flowers, Nicole Marie Garcia, Jonathan Paul Riggins, Arturo R. Salmoran, Cara Marie Strasser, Sabria Christia Struthers, Jen Solomon Toro, Mary Catherine Townsend, Matthew Christopher Wapples,
Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Jiken Tekima, Adipi, Benjamin Seth Bailey, Joseph Philip Benami, Maxwell Augusto Blanchard, Ishida Bose, Benjamin Albert Sharon, Brent Michael Cornelius, Angel Andres Daruna, Daniel Christopher Graves, Joseph Anthony Ginta, Nisarg Dilavar Himani, Celine Irving, Ruben Oliver Just, John James Kane, William Jacob Kirschbaum, Michael Gunderson Leon, Brandon Michael Lico, Orrin Davis Lincoln, Lawrence Ma, Sai Swaraj Madali, Pahul Singh Mataru, Alexander James Newton, Tien Lee Nguyen, Christopher Austin O'Connell, Dominic Angelo Ottaviano II, Yu Ching Peng, Christopher Mason Gauthier Philip, Duby Ketz Pierre, Michael David Savoya, Jacob Artis Smith, William Quincy Smith, Joseph Michael Sobchuk, Scott James St. Martin, Tuat Din Tran, Derek Michael Travisano, Evgeny Vinogradov, Matthew Jordan Wright, Martin Xiang Cheng Ye, Bachelor of Science in Nuclear and Radiological Engineering, Rebecca Caitlin Mackenzie Cottrell, Richard Wendell King III, Tony Mong Lee, Hayden Delaney Marsh, Jason Thomas Walker, Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering, Rainer August Pornomo, Alexander Achilles Anton, Misael Oscar Antonio, Armida Mariana Arcaraz Vasquez, Jennifer Lee Armbruster, Nazanin Ashori, Matthew Brian Ballantyne, Allison Danae Beatty, Rebecca Kathleen Bishop, Andrew Isaac Leland Block, Frederick Tanner Bloomer Jr., Taylor Matthew Bradley, Alexandra Francis Brandt, Sean Michael Breyer, Amanda Lee Burke, Colin H. Caldwell, Isabella Carbonell, Rajan Ramesh Chowdhury, Leanna Jane Sipola, Caitlin Marie Coffey, Haley Marie Cole, Georgia Lee Cottrell, Clayton Merritt Cross, Diego Alejandro Cuadros, Mohammed Salim Chuyeki, Kyle Austin Kelly Dennis, Harsh Diwan, Sarah Gail Dixon, Holly Suzanne Eaton, Michael Sean Eamon, Cameron Barnes Eller, Jacob Lee Evans, Patrick Michael Farrell, Alana Kristen Fennerty, Giselle Farrandell, David Charles Fernandez, Katie Marie Finnegan, Nafisa Panahi Gia, Justin Anthony Fletcher, Megan Elizabeth Godroat, Carlos Alberto Gonzalez, Whitney Alexandra Goodman, Anthony Robert Graziano, Matthew Jerome Guiney, Justin Adel Hafad, Keith Edward Hasco, Huiwen Annie Ho, Musa Hojat Shamani, Emily Ann Howell, April Young So Shea, Yang Zhao Hu, Jingwen Huang, Junyu Wang, Zachary Andrew Ilsevich, Anubhav Jain, Minju Jan, Mohit Jasani, Shashwat Junjuvala, Denton Blake Jokums, John William Jonaber, Paul Yungguo Zhong, Alana Rachel Kaplan, Sarah Elise Kiefer, Laurelyn K. Kilby, James Braden Kilpatrick, Panj Kiln, Sang Yun Kim, Yong Kyung Kim, Robert Douglas Knudsen, Rayut Koren, Pauline Nalubega, Yeni Laksana, Elisa Rosalina Nyong, Elizabeth Shuji Lee, Hojin Lee, Mi-kyung Lee, John Michael Limansky, Jiayi Lu, Paola Lopez Mantilla, Brittany Elin Marshall, Brian Marthin, Felipe Martinez Michelson, Christopher William Mast, Erin Claire McNamara, Shaw Moi Lu, Melissa Carey Mondello, Jung Ho Moon, Logan Andrew Moore, Mala Ami Majoraya, Emilio Jose Munoz Leon, Evan LaShawn Music, Brendan James Nagel, Yoon Seong Nam, Courtney Lee Nichols, Michael Harrison Noah, Alberto Nogueira Vasquez, Shinosuke Nonaka, Michael Andrew Nunes, Kimberly Ann O'Brien, Timothy Alexander Oxner, Sukjun Oh, Alexandra Isabel Ojeda, Simon Pack, Bianca Palacio, Sanya Pandit, Benita Patel, Kishan Rajnikant Patel, Caitlin Elizabeth Perry, Matthew Alexander Peterson, Kayla Janae Plagman, Natasha Brianne Polite, Diana Grace Pressel, Chinmay Chin, Mariam Razagazada, Vignesh Ramesh, Ashkai Ravapati, Martin Restrepo, Samuel David Robb, Madison Avery Rodenstein, Olivia Louise Rumbaugh, Emily Elizabeth Russell, Rebecca Ann Santos, Ida Talal Sawaf, Divya Sawhney, Dominic John Scavola, Anthony John Semeka, Katerina Alexia Selman, Luke Daniel Sewell, Kunal Shapira, Muriel Renee Smith, Joshua Sonico, Daniel Christian Spingola, Gabriela Spinola Kazimi, Connor Joseph Stephan, Carrie Lauren Struker, Matthew Sumapong, William Walter Toms III, Mary Attaway Titus, Christopher Daniel Tolosa, Shao Yuatsang, Mert Uzungowali, sorry, Pooja Vadya, Rachel Elizabeth Van Winkle, Rohan Kumar Verma, Alphonsa Kent Walker, William Jackson Whitener Walker, Rachel Jovan Waller, Tykeria Shavana West, John Henry Hank Williams, Sarah Elizabeth Williford, Lydia Marie Wilmer, Matthew Bradley Wolford, Matthew James Wong, Nellie W. Wong, Junlin Wu, Chun Kwan Yang, Yeonjong Yang, Alice M. Yi, Hong Ki Yoon, Zhao Jin Yu, Chi Ming Zhang, Yue Zhou, Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering, Tyler Matthew Addison, Subodh Raj Adhikari, Angelica Marie Baker, Melissa Lee Bergen, Caitlin Berrigan, Alexander Joseph Boisvert, Julian Doran Brew, James Gary Clements, Sarah Elizabeth Daly, Joshua Lane Dillard, Clarence Jack Dew, Rahul Duvuri, Benjamin Troy Estacio, Timothy Edmund Feltman, Timothy Justin Foster, Chelsea Marie Fuller, David A. Gaitan, Ryan Eugene Gibbons, Edwin Yunser Go, Benjamin Lang Grizel, Tanish Parvez Himani, Travis G. Jackson, Charles Sungju Kim, John William Mathis, Mark Leo Moat, Charles Michael Dugodonga, Alan Paul Niamsi, Matthew Gregory Osarski, Rahim Panjwani, Richard Kwaiko, Ryan Andrew Quinn, John Santo Rusin, Patrick Alexander Savel, Hunter Bryce Selman, Somil Shah, Kyle Robert Simonis, Vishnu Dutta Sridhar, John Ho Lee, Harley Glenn Stout, Hunter Christian Swinson, Alejandro Elio Trujillo, Franklin Drew Turbeville, Garrett Peter Williams, James Warren Williams, Hanjing Ju, Evan Jack Zinner, Bachelor of Science in Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering, Jason Shelby Adams, Austin Andrew Agatston, Nathaniel James Bates, David Chung, Rachel Uni Choi, Adam Sean DeBrewer, Taylor Brittany Donnell, Kelly Ann Doyle, Wei Yi Wang, James Michael Hines II, Kathleen Marie Ilsley, Kevin Patrick Killery, Letitia J. Liu, Stephen Andrew Morton, Nicholas Scott Nelson, Chuk Lee Wen, Jessica Ashley Olson, Michael Vincent Orman, Madeline Grace Orr, Siddharth Punt, Alex Quinton Pickle, Mackenzie Payne Prestera, Jed Pike Pruitt, Rachel Catherine Piekner, Christian Rodriguez, Christopher Michael Ryan, Brittany Alexa Schnabel, Catherine Elizabeth Schramm, Timothy Hale Schwerin, David Robert Smith, Andrew J. Sorensen, Alexandra Lee Sumner, Alyssa Marie Toombs, Joshua John Trinidad, V. Ngoc Phong Vu, Zhenyan Wang, John Michael Robleski, Jiarun Zhou, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, John Andrew Alford, Olaoluwa Joseph Asonabade, Prabhansh Dinesh Kumar Bansal, Zachary James Bechtel, Anna Nicole Bignot, Ilham Moshtail Black, Jonathan Christian Bong, Louis Pratt Salavara Brower, Ethan Robert Brown, Catherine Amanda Chapman, Tuan Duong, Chelsea Dias, Stephen Cody Etling, Ryan Taylor Evans, Michael Harrington Gervais, Ryan Imad Haj, Helen Heindel, Jose Manuel Hernandez Anton, Rose Gina Hippolyte, Barry William Jenkins, Pratiti Rahman Khan, Caitlin Ann Long. Carson John Madriga. Andrew Meltzer. Pratyush Venkata Mami Dana. Clay Thomas McElwain. Folk Min Nguyen. Benjamin Taylor O'Dowd. Daniela Ordonez. Carlos David Perez. Jonathan Reed Pigot. Daniela Remolina. Nathan S. Rush. Sarah Shoji Nida. Allison Jerry Sillins. Michael Carl Spikes. Blake Marshall Studstill. Heather Marie Taylor. Johnny Thompson IV. Morgan Marie Tushin. Andrew Michael Walls. Janine Rose Walters. Ariana Grayson Watanabe. Kiana Gariel Wells. Jeremy David Wilson. Stephen Michael Wright. Jihao Zhang. Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering.
Anthony Gerard Agnon. Elijah Maury Atkins. Colin Joseph Andrews. Zachary Robert Amshimro. Brandon Evans Armstrong. Jesse Chandler Arnold. Derek Messina Bantug. Michael Dylan Bricklebraw. Kristen Nicole Bostatter. Mark Hunter Brooks. Taylor Burdette. Michael Bruce Burnt. Jack David Bush. William Joshua Bush. Stephen Calloway. Kendall Christopher Davis. Carlos Del Rio. Erin Christine Dye. Abdoulaye Diallo. Virginia Lee Dobson. Patrick Robert Doyle, also receiving Bachelor of Science in Physics. James Parker Elder III. Funja Muki Fo. William Robert Gospel. Kristen Jackie. Aaron Fletcher Goodson. Timothy Patrick Greathouse. Alexander Lowell Gregor. Jillian Mary Howe. Garrett Michael Hutchins. Mater Ishmam. Jerome Jingery. Jingfen Jin. Eric Dale Roger Johnson. Jorge Luis Yunko Zakira. Prajwal Kador. Arjun Karunath Rajendram. Thomas Jonathan Lancaster. Brandon David Lassiter. Derek Lee. Zechariah Lin. Jensen Sejun Lau. Brian Reed Lee. Diego Dansanto Lewis. Noah Israel Lusky. Samir Ahmed Mabruk. Abraham Marsden. Andrew Duncan McRae, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. Jay Mehta. Shai Messenger. George William Miles IV. B. Omed Razamki. Jorge Gregorio Moreira, Jamel Morel, Abdullah Nadai, Seth Nuwan, Jonathan Greg Owens, Mitchell Chang Ming Pang, Neha Patel, Aditya Rajankaran, Sanjay Ravi, Kaylani Sarah Redding, Devin Hedrick Story Rogers, Colin Holt Sanders, R. Rajanpathy Sankar, Dustin Tyler Shields, Cedar Savarapurapu, Wesley Carlisle Smith, Vanessa Sue, Richmond Siwa, Gregory August Theodosakis, Kevin Ivan Chen, Julie Tan Tran, Adriana Alexandra Tucker, Afang James Udi, Nico Van Doon, Nicholas Wong, Corbin William Widener, Alexander George Wood, Qiji Zhu, Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Brianna Danielle Francis Allen, Kayla Marie Andrews, Zachary David Archbold, Daniel Allen Baker, Tharquin Japath Belongajo, Natish Liang Beata, Ethan Wayne Bisgard, Eric Taylor Brewer, Daniel Ethan Bodemer, Christopher Randall Britton, Clark Leonard Bruce, Daniel Levin Budenstein, Stephen Thomas Graves Burkott, Timothy Douglas Burnham, Thomas Wilson Cahoon, Brett Sierra Carlson, Devin Kyle Carter, Amanda Carissa Castillo, John David Kavanaugh II, Irvin Jose Centino, Jacob Raymond Cerny, Aditya Chatterjee, Jessica Chow, Songking Chen, Yukon Chen, Kevin Chow, Hyun Hui Cho, Tiffany Chu, Kyung Sun Chu, Taylor Clark, Colleen Grace Copley, Matthew Townsend Cribb, Gregory Thomas Chrysler, Andrew Zachary Cryan, Paul Edward Cundy IV, Kevin Daffon, Randy Thomas Dalton, Joseph Daniel Danek, Cameron Scott Davis, Neil Patrick Dempsey, Ivan Dietrich Nito, Austin Ryan Dodson, Sean Moore Doherty, Andrew Davis Edge, Mohammed Samir El-Banani, Adam Richard Irwood, John Anthony Falcone, Charles Gartin Fisher, Jacob French, Taylor Dean French, Felix Fu, Lirong Fu, Adam Otis Gable, Erica Shanita Gabriel, Brian Ticio Gabriel. Corey Allen Gainon. Tommy Joan Garces. Amit Garg. Christopher Ryan George. Alexander Julio Gill. Keith Owen Gilbert. Dustin Bradley Graham. Mayung Gao. Benjamin David Gutman. Dylan Thomas Honey. Taylor Hall Harcourt. Stephen George Hatzikutelis. Mark William Hayes. Miles Nathan Hazeman. Rachel Elizabeth Henry. Jeffrey Hill. Christopher Maurice Holloway Jr. John Clinton Howell. Matthew Scott Heyer. Charles Curry Eisminger Jr. Viat Variel Javri. Brian Joe. Brian Allen Jolly. Yuan Khan. Kishore Ganesh Karnik. Matthew Scott Kuhn, also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Taylor Stewart Kirstein. Narul Absar Khan. Joseph James Kim. Junyoung Kim. Si-hyun Kim. Shirley Young Kim. Vishram Krishaswamy. Jacob Rutledge Kugler. Hannah Kwan. Terrence Lane Jr. Phúc Minh Lee. Bumsu Lee. Daniel Lee. Dawit Lee. Ellie Johns Lee. Erica Washu Lee. Paul June Lee. Jimmy Lee Leong. Austin Taylor Longnecker. David Reed McPherson. Daniel Burke Marsh. Eric Joseph Martin. Savannah Paige McDaniel. T. Barrett McGowan. Joseph Lawrence McRail. Dustin James Magruder. Dalton Christopher McMeon. James Austin McNair. Taruv Sanjay Mehta. Matthew Ryan Meister. Garrett Ethan Mayer. Diogo Jorge del Albuquerque Montero. Jacob Robert Montgomery. Taylor Michael Montgomery. Mark James Moody. Michael Elijah Morgan. Al Abdullah Mohit. Phoenix Mahan Wynn. Brett Andrew Nevensver-Street. Andrew Richard Nietzsche. Ryan Matthew Nowicki. Uche Okoro. Rochelle Brianna Orlando. Jasmine Natalie Perrette. Rachel Rebecca Elizabeth Peterson. Viet Phi Trong Phan. Michael Joseph Pinder. Sarah Elizabeth Hart Platt. Joseph Thomas Powers. Anmol Puri. Anish Ravashekar. Samantha Everett Ramey. Sydney Alexandra Ray. Austin Taylor Red. Matthias Dominique Raynecker. Tajim Rhine. Cooper Gwen Rickles. Christian Matthew Rivera. Eric Matthew Roming. David Matthew Rowland. Sina Sideha. Risa Sakure. Charles Paul Sanders. Scott Michael Schroer. Garrett O'Neill Scott, Jr. Claire Serbinsky. Ibdaslam Sheka. Lu Shen. Christopher Devlin Shepard. Morley Spencer Sherman. Alvin C. Amin Ahad Sajumasi. H. Ryan Slater. Allison Rhett Smeedberg. Bradley Robert Smith. Eric Hudson Smith. Luke Gill Smith. Peyton Kyle Smith. Ji Win So. Peter Nicholas Sorensen. Nathaniel Alexander Sumi. Yi Sun. Cheryl Wailing T.O. Alexander Robert Tim. Ben Andrew Thompson. Alexander Taylor Tippins. Jackson Taylor Todd. William H. Tucker IV. Chasek Tulsian. Janeth Javaraman. Carlos Andres Vivas Galenas. Ji Hyun Yi. Gabe Park. Gustavo Alberto Salazar. Douglas Paul Walker. Mark Raymond Walsh. Dimitri Watharna. Fiona Wong. Andrew Wynn. Ryan Austin Youngblood. Sue Yu. Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering. Asuman Mehta. Akshay Reddy. Manav Kothari. Bachelor of Science in Biology. Jacob G.Q. Kim. Yulu Shu. Maya Ramchardran. Shreya Matareddy. Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. James Augustus Frank Ferguson. Robert Keith Parsons. Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering. Azim Ali. Cordell Anthony Williams. Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering. Rosario Delgado. Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering. Elman Abanor. Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Brandon Robert Foley. Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Samuel Wynn.
Will the graduates please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Georgia Institute of Technology and by the authority of the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities hereunto appertaining. Graduates, To symbolize your achievement, you may now move the tassel on your mortarboard. Please join me in congratulating these students. Graduates. Please be seated. Okay. All right, almost there, almost there. Georgia Tech alumni are an extraordinary group of high achievers. To welcome each of you in this graduating class into the Fellowship of Tech, I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Joseph Irwin, President of the Georgia Tech Alumni Association.
Good afternoon and congratulations to our newest alumni. Man, I can't get the smile wiped off my face today. I feel the happiness in this place, don't you? Yeah! All right, so you think, what's this alumni guy gonna do today? Is he gonna ask me for money? No. Today, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give you some money today, and I'm gonna give you some pieces of advice about your membership in the Alumni Association. First of all of you are now Georgia Tech alumni forever. And the Georgia Tech Alumni Association is here to help you. We have a lot of traditions at Georgia Tech, like the Ramblin' Wreck and Buzz and Rat Caps and the Walk of Shame from the library in the early morning. There are a lot of them, but I would postulate to you that the real traditions that Georgia Tech has are traditions that arise from our experience together. And I know this from knowing thousands of our alumni across the world. The first tradition of Georgia Tech is your work ethic. You've been challenged mightily here, and you've worked harder than you have ever in your lives. All that work is paid off today, and you've earned a degree that sets you apart. That work ethic is going to make a huge difference in your life ahead. Secondly, you have extraordinary problem-solving skills. You can take a problem, analyze it, break it down, and solve it. That's right. Tech alumni are critical thinkers and problem solvers. But it takes more than just analytical skills to solve problems. It takes resourcefulness and creativity, and you have those qualities in abundance. The third thing is perseverance. And I don't care if you got a Bachelor's of Science in ME or EE or Business Administration, it should say Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Perseverance, because you cannot succeed at Georgia Tech without persevering, and I have no doubt you will succeed. You can't also survive Georgia Tech without having a passion for excellence. We don't like to put our names on things that aren't right. We want to do the right things and do them right. Finally, your drive to succeed, your ambition, fuels your passion and your work, and that ambition will serve you well in your life. So that's my theory. You're all now imbued with the real traditions of Georgia Tech education, your work ethic, your problem-solving skills, your perseverance, your passion for excellence, and your drive and ambition. I've seen it across all generations of all Tech alumni, and I feel it in the room today. So now, in addition to the finest degree in the world, you have access to the finest alumni network in the world. All you have to do is ask for their help. It's an asset on your personal balance sheet that you should leverage to achieve your dreams. If you're a member of the Student Alumni Association or a donor to the Georgia Tech Student Foundation, would you stand up, please? Come on, I know there's a lot of you out there. There you go. Thank you guys for your philanthropy to Georgia Tech while you're students. And what we do, an anonymous alumnus has made a gift of $25 in all of your names, whether you're a member of SAA or GTSF, in all of your names in the roll call for this year. The roll call year ends June 30, and you will be credited with that on your resume. All we ask you to do is that when we ask you for money next year, I told you I was going to give you money today, that you follow up and help us out, because Georgia Tech is an extraordinary place because of the support of its alumni. And that means mentoring, that means advocacy, that means philanthropy, and all the rest of it. My heartiest congratulations on earning your tech degree. I'm very proud of you. Welcome to the finest alumni network on the globe.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you being here with us today. You probably noticed a number of our students as they cross the stage with special sashes. So we have several students with us that are veterans or going into the armed services, and I know we have a number of people in the audience. Would all the veterans or current military servicemen and women stand and be recognized? Thank you for your service. In closing, I'd like to express my appreciation to Brian Larson, Bill Todd, and Kara Apple Silva for announcing the graduates' names. At this time, members of the choir will lead us in the alma mater, followed immediately by the faculty recessional. The graduates and audience are requested to remain standing as the platform party recesses. Then I invite you to join us in the singing of the best-known fight song in America, Ramblin' Wreck. For our newest graduates from Georgia Tech, we have a special treat. As you exit the McCamish Pavilion immediately after the ceremony, the whistle will blow several times in your honor. Thank you for your attendance this morning. Congratulations and have a wonderful day.
O sons of Tech, arise, behold the banner as it reigns supreme. For from on high the white and gold waves in its triumphant gleam. The spirit over Jericho resounds with joy revealing a brotherhood in praise and song in the memory of the days gone by. O Zion of the Southland, in our hearts you shall forever fly.
Thank you.
Georgia Tech, Georgia Tech, hell of an engineer. Like all the jolly good fellows, I drink my whiskey clear. I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. Rambling wreck, rambling wreck, rambling, rambling, rambling wreck. Put her on the campus to cheer the brave and bold. Good night, I tell you what he do. He would yell, to hell with Georgia, as Daddy used to do. I wish I had a barrel of rum and sugar 2,000 pounds. A college bell to put in and clap the syrup down. I drink to all the good fellows who come from far and near. I'm a rambling, gambling,